Hello and welcome to the forensicFeen YouTube channel. This presentation today will cover how to create a new case in Encase 7 and how to add the evidence file. Okay, so let's just assume that we have Encase open. Once you do open Encase, you do get this home tab where you can add a new case from, and you can also open an existing case. What we're going to do today is we're going to create a new case. So we click on new case. It brings up the case options tab. Here we can enter firstly the case name, which is the name you want to give to the file that you want, where the case is going to be stored. Okay. Then where it says full case path, you select the option at the end of it, and you locate a location where you want to store the case. I have already done this. That's why the button that appears on the right hand side of that option is no longer there. Okay. Then we have an option where we see it says use base case folder for primary evidence cache. That I prefer to use this option. What this basically means is all the cache files for your case are normally stored in a different location. However, I want to store it with the case, so I select that option. Then we have case info at the bottom, which is probably the most important aspect of creating a new case. We have three options there: case number, examiner name, and description. On the right hand side where it says value, if you click there for each option, it opens a page where you can enter the value. So the case number, for the purpose of the video, just put number 1. The examiner name would be the investigator's name, but for the purpose of the video we'd use forensicFeen. And then the description is just an overview of your case, so it's for your own purpose, so you can go back and see why you created this case. You can also have the option to add extra fields and extra options there. It's up to you what you want to do, but this is the general basic that Encase provides you with. You do have the option to edit and delete these options. Okay, so once you have done that, press OK, which brings up the home tab for the case. If you look in the left hand top corner, you can see the case, and in brackets it shows the case name. What we want to do is we want to add evidence. So the first option there is add evidence. There are other options there for you as well, but at the moment we want to just add evidence. Okay, so when you do click on add evidence, you get these following options. You can add a local device, which is a file from your machine. You can add an evidence file which is specifically formatted for Encase, and you can add a raw image as well. Encase also supports smartphone, and we do have an additional feature there called add crossover preview. But for the investigation that I've carried out, we're going to use an evidence file. I've just listed a few formats which is compatible with Encase. The format I'm using is a VMDK file, and that's basically created through the use of a virtual machine. Okay, so you click on add evidence file, you locate your file, and then you open it. Once you do that, it brings up the evidence tab. As you see in the top left, it's got the home, and at the moment we're on the evidence one. Here you can see your evidence, you can see the location of the evidence, and we can also see the status of the evidence. Currently the evidence is unprocessed. Encase recommends you to process your evidence first before carrying out any further investigation. So there is a video on processing evidence which you can watch also. Okay, just to conclude, in each investigation, an investigator who is using Encase would require creating a new case, which is pretty simple. Every case that you create does require you to do this. Therefore, most investigators are familiar with this process if they do use Encase. If they use any other forensic software, they may not be familiar with this. This is the reason why we've created this video. It is very basic, but for some people, they may not know about this. Okay? So the case info is the most important aspect to setting up a new case. Basically, it tells you the name, the examiner, and the reason why you created this case. And then the final option we have, final point of the conclusion, is that Encase has made this process very simple, because it's something which you have to do commonly. Therefore, it's not too hard, and once you've done it once, you won't have a problem with it again. So thank you for watching, and thank you very much from forensicFeen. Bye bye. Hello and welcome to the forensicFeen YouTube channel. This presentation today will cover how to process the evidence. It is a continuation of the first video that I uploaded, which was how to create a new case and how to add an evidence file. Okay, so we have the case created, we have the evidence file. Okay, we can see that the processing status of the evidence file is currently unprocessed. So what we need to do is to click process evidence, the arrow is pointing to where you need to click. Once you do click that, we get the Encase evidence processor page, where you need to select the option process next to the evidence, and then the section below you'll be able to click into that section. Now Encase provides you with many different features in the evidence processor. The one that we're interested in for the type of investigation that we're doing is find internet artifacts. So we can deselect the other options and just keep the find internet artifacts option. Okay, once you do that, click OK. I have also selected the hash analysis option, which creates an MD5 and SHA1 hash value for each of the files. However, further in the next video, I do show you how to hash the files separately. So, find internet artifacts and hash files are the two options that I've selected. Once you do select these options, you press OK. Now just remember that the more options that you select, the longer it will take to process the evidence. Now if you have a very large file for your evidence, it can take an awfully long time. You press OK. So once the process is complete, well, whilst the process is ongoing, you will see a little bar on the bottom right hand side of your screen. And once it's complete, it will come up with this page and it will say the evidence is processed. Now we want to view the results from this processing. So what we do is click View and we click Records, and that will show you the results from the processor, which we have here. As you can see here, Encase is saying that it's used 4 browsers, whereas we know that we've used Internet Explorer and we've used Mozilla Firefox. Mozilla has created 2 files because it stores its information in 2 different locations. Okay, so we've got 2 files there. With Internet Explorer, you can see that it's found records such as bookmarks. In the cache, we've got image, HTML, code, XML, text. We also got a history tab, which Encase has extracted information from, which provides you with visited links, the daily history, typed URLs, and we've got a cookie folder for Internet Explorer. So that's all for Internet Explorer, and then we've got the one for Mozilla underneath, and we've also got the one for unknown browser. The records, the left hand side is known as a tree pane, which I've just read out all the information from. You can return to the Homes tab. You've got the Evidence tab at the top, and you've got the Records tab. Okay, so the next video that I'm going to show you will show you how to create the hash list separately. Just to conclude, the evidence processor in Encase 7 is designed to do the job for you. Encase does recommend that you process your evidence before you do anything else. The Encase processor has many features. It is a very strong tool. In this case, we've used internet artifacts and hash analysis only. For example, the index feature would let you search for keywords, and you also have other options there too. Now, depending on the size of your evidence and the number of processes you select, the processing stage can take a very long time. I have experienced sat in front of a computer for hours, and I know people that have had to leave the computer on for days depending on the size of your evidence. Okay, it is important to do further analysis of the evidence without using the case processor. The case processor does do the job for you, however, it is better to use the case processor plus look into the evidence yourself, look into the evidence file itself and find, because sometimes there are many ways to hide data. Okay, so thank you very much for watching ForensicFeen.